Greetings. This is General CJG here, coming to you with a more, well, let's just say a more random video discussing some big Star Wars news that just happened in this week. Happened a few days ago, and until now, we are finally discussing it. So, what is it? Well, it's some sort of change regarding how Star Wars gaming will go forward from now on. And joining me here are two members of State of Star Wars. So, introduce yourself, Luke, Warren,
Greetings, everyone. Luke Warren here. Glad to be back.
and also the Django Fett. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Django Fett here. Regular member at this point, so I think you guys know me by now.
Yep, Macho Mandalorian is right here to talk on this big news. So, without further ado, let's get into the big news. So, the big news is that, well, Disney or Lucasfilm has officially made a new division on Lucasfilm called Lucasfilm Games, which is basically some sort of a LucasArts type company that's going to be licensing its Star Wars license, as far as I'm aware. So, and I'm gonna read the official Star Wars.com article regarding it. So, okay, Lucasfilm Games hits lightspeed toward the future. Douglas Rayleigh, BIP of Lucasfilm Games, talks to StarWars.com about the just announced story-driven open-world Star Wars game from Ubisoft and much more. The Star Wars gaming galaxy is about to experience its own Big Bang. We've got a lot of stuff we're ready to start sharing with fans, Lucasfilm Games BP Douglas Rayleigh tells StarWars.com, because we've been working quietly behind the scenes for a while now, waiting for this moment. And by this moment, Rayleigh is referring to a new direction and era for Star Wars and Lucasfilm gaming overall, as Lucasfilm Games is now opening the doors to developers that want to come play in the galaxy far, far away. We're looking to work with best-in-class teams that can make great games across all of our IP. We got a team of professionals here at Lucasfilm Games who can work with the developers, shape the stories, shape the creative, shape the games to make them really resonate with fans and deliver across a breadth of platforms, genres, and experience so that all of our fans can enjoy the IPs that they know and love. Case in point, the huge news that Lucasfilm and Ubisoft are collaborating on a new story-driven, open-world Star Wars game is a genre long requested by fans and will come to life via massive entertainment. Ubisoft's critically acclaimed base in Malmo, Sweden. We're really excited about an opportunity with the team at Massive, led by David Pofeld and the creative director Julian Geraghty. We spent almost a year now working to get to know them and what they want to bring to the table. I'm a huge fan of them. Personally, I think we're really excited about where that project is going because they have a unique vision for the story and the game they want to deliver. So, and also says that, of course, Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment are renowned for their expertise in developing immersive worlds and pushing the boundaries of technology with their proprietary engine, Snowdrop, because they're the division developers, as far as I know. So, guys, so what do you think of this news, this big news, and the Ubisoft game so far? Luke, the Django, go ahead.
Someone just blast the Return of the Jedi victory celebration theme in here. Because seriously, how long has the Star Wars fan base been saying that EA has screwed the Star Wars license so severely to the point where they shouldn't be the sole owners of it now?
Oh, we'll get into EA in a bit. They actually said something about this news. But don't worry, we'll get to them. So, but yes, you're right, Luke. So, the Django, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, as Luke pointed out, they've squandered the Star Wars license and have done nothing practically until towards the end, with a couple of good games, with Squadrons and Jedi Fallen Order. But before that time, Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, not a good resume. So I feel like they don't know what to do with the Star Wars license. And to have it exclusive to EA was the worst move they could have done. So thankfully, that's not the case anymore, and I'm happy.
Yes, indeed. So,
Yeah.
Luke, got something to say?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I know this is kind of an unfair comparison because the game I'm about to mention was handled by a completely different development team and publisher. But if you look within the first 2 years of Star Wars, of AAA Star Wars games being produced under, like since EA got hold of the license, when they squander the Star Wars IP so damn badly to the point where the objective best Star Wars game we got in that 2 year period was a freaking Lego game, you know they've screwed up.
And the Lego game wasn't even made by EA.
Yeah.
So
Plus, like I think there was three games that, or I think it was two games that came from LucasArts and came to EA's desk, and you would think they would continue that, but instead they just canceled three potentially like good-looking Star Wars games and just canceled them altogether.
yeah, Project Ragtag from Visceral Games, and one that was a Battlefront spin-off,
Yes.
I believe, from
Uh,
EA.
Project Viking, I believe that went under the name of.
Yeah,
And there was also Project Orca, which
yes,
apparently used assets from Ragtag, and it was going to be an open world live service model game, but that also got canned.
because of course EA wants to can a lot of Star Wars games like that.
What
Is something.
what I find funny is that they went so far as to can a Star Wars project that actually would have prioritized what EA wants most: money, money, money,
We've got to have money.
money.
God, EA. So yeah. Something regarding EA and if they're gonna continue making Star Wars games. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. For fans of modern Star Wars games, fear not. Some old friends are sticking around, continuing the relationship that resulted in the reinvigorated Battlefront series. The critically acclaimed
Long enough.
the critically acclaimed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and multiplayer hit Star Wars Squadrons, Electronic Arts will too play a big role in the future of Star Wars. And the BP Games of Lucasfilm Games says, "We're really proud of the games we have created with EA. We will continue working with them, and our relationship has never been stronger. While we may not have a lot of details to share at the moment, we got a number of projects underway with the talented teams at EA."
Oh, okay, just one thing very, very quickly. What's the full name of the EA employee who's saying all this?
No. This is the BP. This is the vice president of Lucasfilm Games who said this. No, we're not gonna
The
get.
vice president.
Don't worry.
It's just because.
We'll get to the EA spokesperson soon. We'll get to him soon.
Oh, right. Okay. I just want to. Well, actually, you know what? When we get to talking about EA, I'll bring this quote back up very quickly.
Okay, so yeah, EA is not out of the picture. It's just that they are no longer the only ones making Star Wars games, which is what it should have been in the first place in 2013. But Disney, I guess, was at the time way too overconfident, arrogant, and let's just say too complacent with just giving the IP to specific AAA publisher instead of licensing it to several publishers. I guess now they finally changed that shit. So there is that. And another thing, this article says, as with EA over the last few years, Lucasfilm Games will continue to guide titles from the franchise perspective, from ensuring Star Wars authenticity to story connectivity with the larger saga. We try and help leverage their passion, expertise, and idea by bringing our expertise around the IP, our ability to connect with other parts of Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company to amplify that, to make it even bigger that they might reimagine, Riley says. We want to uncover the stories they've always imagined telling and make them resonate with our fans and across the wider Star Wars galaxy. Interesting. So there is that. Oh, also one last thing. Not only is Ubisoft making a Star Wars game, but Lucasfilm Games has also authorized Bethesda, more specifically Machine Games developer, to create an Indiana Jones game, which is were also led by Todd Howard.
Oh, bloody
The Django, I think you got plenty to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So, regard to machine games. Okay. So, as you guys know, they made a bunch of the Wolfenstein games, and if I were to be honest with you guys, I don't like the Wolfenstein games. Even the first game, I didn't.
I
I
do.
thought it was super overrated, and I'm not a big fan
I
of. I
do
know a
li-
lot of people loved it.
I
But
do like it.
I know you.
actually. I do
Yeah.
like it. So
I just didn't see anything with it, and then the second and especially the third game with Young Blood was just
God, yeah, that is trash.
like I'm excited that there's no exclusivity deal, but at
Wait.
the same time, the way they're announcing these games with the developers behind it, I'm kind of not excited at the same time because they're so these developers are not the best out there. They're
Yeah.
pretty mediocre in the grand scheme of things.
So yeah, and what do you think that the Django that Todd Howard is the one leading this project, the Indiana Jones game?
It's interesting. I just don't. I thought he was just like the Skyrim and Fallout guy, but I guess he's trying to do everything, and we'll see. I mean, I'm just not hopeful because it's machine games, and I mean, I just don't know at this point. I really don't know. They could do good. Who knows? But at the same time, I just don't believe in this project at all.
Well, I guess there's that. So you take it here from the Bethesda fan, the Django. So there's that. So Luke, any final thoughts on the Indiana Jones game?
Well, not really. I'm not keen on Indiana Jones as a franchise, so
Okay, well, in that case, well, now we go to some other articles regarding the Lucasfilm games. So apparently, there several spokespersons have been talking to these specific articles. Like somebody who came to Wire.com and said that regarding EA and the exclusivity. So he said that EA has been and will continue to be a very strategic and important partner for us now and going forward. Sean Shoptaw, Senior Vice President of Global Games and Interactive Experience at Disney, told Wired. But we did feel like there's room for others. Okay. And so an EA spokesperson reached out to Wired.com to provide the following statement. Get ready.
Oh,
So this is what EA said. We are proud of our long-standing collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, which will continue for years to come. Our talented teams have created some of the most successful games in the history of the Star Wars franchise, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, yeah, Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2, EA,
Oh,
God. And Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Oh god, that shitty mobile game. Pay to win. And Star Wars Squadrons. That's a good one. And we love Star Wars and we look forward to creating more exciting experiences for players to enjoy. Okay, so what do you guys think of that? Sound like purple diarrhea to me. So, the Django, what do you think of that? What EA said.
They're just trying to save face, and they're trying to act confident when it comes to their IPs and stuff. And I think they're gonna lose the license after 2023.
Yes,
Am
2023.
I correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a couple years time, and I just don't know why in the world Disney would get EA to have this exclusivity in the first place, just with that company. Because if you had these different hands, like how LucasArts did, and look how successful they were as a developer slash publisher, they had so many different talented developers handle their games, and not just one studio and then that's it. That's why they were successful with the Star Wars IP. But like with EA, they're not gonna do jack shit, and that showed. And if you had these different things from the beginning, people wouldn't complain and bitch about all these different games because you would have all these different talented or so-called talented developers behind it. So it's a good move to have Lucasfilm Games, but we also need talented writers and all this other stuff associated with that. So, well, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, it's just. I mean, if you look at the very brief and mixed bag of a resume that EA already have under their belt in the context of the Star Wars license, I mean, what we got? The current gen, quote unquote, Battlefront duology, Jedi Fallen Order and Squadrons.
And Galaxy of Heroes, a mobile game.
I don't count Galaxy of Heroes because it's a mobile game.
I do because it's like EA has only made 5 Star Wars games, 4 and that mobile game, and that's it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not a AAA Star Wars game.
Yes, but it was still one of the more popular ones, so much so that even some of my family members played it, so I know how manipulative that shit is.
Okay, in that case then. But even so, I mean, EA, not only did they wreck the potential that they could have had, I mean, but then again, this isn't a company who cares about delivering quality products first and foremost, is it? So, but it's like, not only have they wrecked the opportunity that they were given, but they've also wasted it because they've done jack all with it.
Yep. And speaking of EA's bad reputation, we haven't even gotten to everything EA has done outside Star Wars. Like, we could make an entire video on that. In fact, I know that Django would definitely like to do that sometime in his channel.
Yeah, but that's a discussion for another time. Stuff outside of Star Wars that EA has done.
I know. That's why I said that's its own video.
But I mean, it's like, you know, this is the company that was responsible for making the Star Wars brand headline the subject of gambling because of freaking loot boxes.
Loot boxes in Battlefront 2 EA and Galaxy of Heroes. Disgusting. But of course, Battlefront 2 EA is the one that had the most discussion because it's the one that EA wanted to cram it really hard into the Battlefront IP. And boy, did they get well-deserved absolute backlash.
And to be fair, it wasn't just backlash from the loot boxes that garnered EA a really bad reputation. There was also an incident where, and I think both of you know where I'm going with this, during the pre-launch beta or the pre-launch access period for select players, the hero characters were charged at ridiculously high in-game credit paywalls, and a Reddit user by the name of Hotter Potato did the maths and determined it would take upwards of 40 hours just to unlock either, and let me make this clear, either Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. To which EA responded with, "The intent is to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes." And that Reddit post has become such a meme to the point where it's not only, I think, the most downvoted comment in Reddit history, but it even made it into a Guinness World Records book.
So I hope EA is proud of what it's done with Star Wars, because I'm pretty sure Disney probably was not too proud of it, given that now they're pretty much telling EA, 2023, you're not going to renew the exclusivity deal. We're going to be expanding to other publishers, so you can still make Star Wars games for us, but you're not going to be the only one. Sorry, EA.
And something that I feel should be clarified is, in case any mega EA apologists happen to watch this and say, "Oh, but Battlefront 2 is good now." Yeah, it's good now, but that's only because of the effort that DICE put in to bring the game back from the dead. EA didn't do crap to help it.
Actually, the real reason was because No, the reason why it's good now is because of the same backlash. Had it not happened, the game would have still been in its absolute horrendous pay-to-win state. And not only that, but the real reason why DICE put a lot of effort into Battlefront 2 EA after it came out is because Battlefield 5 did not make as much sales money as EA wanted, and it garnered its own backlash and shit. So it took another game of DICE to fail to fix Battlefront 2 EA.
And then just when Battlefront 2 EA was starting to get somewhere content-wise, what did EA do in late spring? Or was it early summer of last year? I forget.
It was late 2020. They pulled the plug on Battlefront 2 EA.
Yep, they pulled the plug right as that game was actually starting to thrive content-wise. Way to go, EA!
EA doesn't give a shit about supporting games that failed commercially. They just want those revenue numbers. They only give a shit about their ultimate team and loot box microtransaction money making milking machines. You know, why do you think FIFA? They even to this day they're still trying to get away with FIFA and Madden having all sorts of loot boxes, and they wanted that shit in Star Wars, and failed miserably. So yeah, that's what EA only cares. Now there's other publishers that care the same about that, but if you ask me, I think because of the Battlefront 2 EA fiasco, I doubt we're gonna see other Star Wars games with loot boxes. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I think there's gonna be a Battlefront 3 game, probably like in a year or two, to be honest. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they had loot boxes in that. I just wouldn't at this point.
On the subject of loot boxes, there is another infamously money-hungry publisher who we'll be discussing in a moment.
Activision?
No.
Ubisoft?
Uh-huh.
Well, Ubisoft, they certainly are money hungry, though actually they don't get as close as Activision or EA, actually. But they are.
I never said that. I didn't say they were as bad. I just said they also seem to be like very monetization first.
They are, yes. Though at least Ubisoft can actually make some unique new IPs. I mean, they still have some creative force in them, though. But yeah, they're far from a AAA publisher you can put your high hopes in. They're far from that. And no, unfortunately, I'm not gonna say CD Projekt Red because, well, they had their own shit show in this past few months, but we're not going to get into that. So as of this point, I don't really know what AAA publisher can be I guess, role model for how to make good games while at the same time the monetization being fair. I mean, I guess the closest would be Capcom, but I don't know. Unless you guys have some suggestions.
And actually, just going back to EA for a second, how the flip did the Battlefront 2 controversy, both instances of it, so the locked hero thing and the loot boxes, how did those two things combined not grant them a third worst company in America award?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking the Django was going to agree. As much as I would love to talk about Battlefront EA and Battlefront 2 EA and shit on EA another day, so we can do it. We can do it in another video. Now, full disclaimer here on State of Star Wars, guys. Let's just say that we like Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Squadrons. We think it's decent. It depends on the specific members. Though in my case, EA is absolutely on my top shit list of shit AAA publishers. I have no qualms saying that. EA, you suck, and you definitely should get your act together and stop being so money hungry. Like, seriously. And also, seriously, stop having any sort of exclusivity deals. Stop having the NFL license exclusivity. Stop doing the FIFA. And thank God, Star Wars, you already got your freaking grasp out of it.
Yeah, to EA, we say this. Every time you have to make a decision, ask yourself this question first. Is this good for the player?
Yes, Andrew Wilson. Is this good for the player? Is this good for the player? Is this good for the player? So,
No.
yeah. Okay, usually here in State of Star Wars, we don't really go shitting on others, but in the case of EA, it's pretty special given how most people don't really like EA. In fact, they're right now considered one of the worst AAA publishers ever. In fact, the worst one. The only one that could follow on that would be Activision or Konami. So, yeah, there's that. And if you guys in the comment section want me and the Django to rant on AAA publishers, we can do it at his channel, but say so in the comments. So, there's that. But, yeah, so that's freaking EA and Ubisoft, and I guess with their open world game and Indiana Jones game. So, got any other thoughts to say, guys, on this news?
Yeah, just are we gonna touch base on the Ubisoft?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to say on that one?
Okay, so with regarding Ubisoft, all right, so that's also not a publisher I trust at all. I mean, they're pretty terrible. I mean, we all know the allegations and everything that has revolved around them recently.
Oh gosh.
But basically, they're not someone you should do an exclusivity deal at all with. I just don't think you should have an exclusivity deal at all, like in general, because
Agreed.
if you restrict it to one publisher, like we've seen with EA, and they do nothing with it, then you're gonna lose money. Okay, so don't squander it, and let other seek out such talented developers out there, and then just publish the games. You know, be Lucasfilm Games or be the LucasArts version of that, and moderate and have just great sessions with that. But regarding this new Ubisoft game too, is I'm not really excited for it at all too, because it's going to be made by Massive, I think, is it?
Yeah,
Massive
Entertainment.
Yeah, so they've done the Division games, and all I've heard is they're pretty bland looter shooters. And if I wanted to play a looter shooter game, I'd play Borderlands.
Yes.
Or even Cyberpunk, because that's also a looter shooter of sorts too. I don't know why.
Just
makes no sense.
Just play our good old AAA live service favorite game, the Django, since 2018, Monster Hunter World.
I wouldn't consider that a looter shooter. That's
but it is a looter game, so it counts on that.
It's better than a looter game. it's like its own category of just amazingness.
Well, yeah, but it does have those looter RPG aspects, so I do count it on that. And I do count it better than other looter shooters. Yes, even better than Destiny. Sorry, Destiny fans.
So, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it was just Division is not a good thing to put on your resume. Division 1 and Division 2. So, to have an open world Star Wars game, I don't see, that's the thing. If you don't have developers we could be excited about, then why are we we need to see footage, we'll see all this other stuff, but so far it's not looking like people are going to be excited when hearing, oh, this studio Massive, and then it's also going to be Machine Games, not for Indiana Jones game. Not very exciting stuff, but who knows? I mean, there could be some good stuff. They could surprise us. But I'm also interested if they can start working on these games now, or they have to wait until the exclusivity deal is done in 2023.
As I've heard and read these articles, it sounds like they're already working on the games. They just cannot release them until the exclusivity deal of EA ends in 2023. So that gives them time to make the games.
No, that's perfect, because then it could come out during that time, 2023 or 2024. I think. I mean, that's when the games should be ready by then. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because then once the EA exclusivity deal is up, we could get back to content output, just sheer volume of Star Wars games that rivals the golden era. I mean, if you look back to the LucasArts days, we would see anywhere from 3 to 5 or 6 Star Wars games per year under LucasArts.
Yeah.
And EA have done one game every 2 2 years. So it's like, and I'm pretty sure EA on its own was a much bigger entity than LucasArts was, right?
It's always been
yeah.
a bigger entity.
So then there's no excuse for EA to slack off so much with.
I feel like they didn't know what to do with the license.
Well, all EA wanted is those sweet ass microtransaction revenue and season pass and shit. Like they only give a shit about the green, the dollar signs.
How hilarious is it then that which EA employee was it who said that single player games are dead?
I think
it's a CEO.
No,
Oh, you
it was a COO, Blake Jorgensen. I think it was the
Oh.
one who said it.
I guarantee you the higher ups at EA were facepalming themselves hardcore when Jedi Fallen Order proved them so wrong.
I'd love to see Blake Jorgensen and Andrew Wilson doing that, facepalming hard on the table, or hell, even facepalming in their own faces, even anything just to see their shame. Because seriously, Blake Jorgensen and Android Wilson, they're nothing but just money hungry. I guess even soulless executives.
But there is one positive to soulless executives like them.
Mm-hmm.
They say plenty of memeable things. I mean, bear in mind, in the case of Blake Jorgensen, he was the guy who said that loot boxes in Battlefront 2 couldn't contain only cosmetic items because it would run the risk of violating the canon.
No, it actually didn't mean loot box. It meant microtransactions in general. This was after the loot box controversy. But
I know, but it was still a stupid statement and incredibly memeable as a result.
Not only that, but it pretty much confirmed that all gameplay in Star Wars video games, except the Lego Star Wars games, like all gameplay is fucking canon, which only makes things worse.
So you're telling me that Rey has a force ability that literally allows her to see through walls? Is that what you're telling us, EA?
Oh, not only that, she was even there during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, you're telling us that Phasma, Vader, Kylo, and Dooku fought Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke, and Rey on Kamino? Yeah, thanks.
Well, not only EA, Lucasfilm didn't even bother saying no, that's not true. No, they didn't say shit about that. So yeah, let's just say the handling of continuity of video games in Disney Star Wars is not the best. So unless it's just single player, that I guess yeah. But even then, the gameplay is fucking canon. That's a whole other story. But yes, so that's I guess the situation with EA, Ubisoft, and Bethesda making new Star Wars games and Lucasfilm games. So overall, even if we're not excited for these games, the Indiana Jones game and the open world Star Wars game, even if we're not excited that, or the sequel Jedi Fallen Order, Battlefront 3, this at least can give us the excellent news that Star Wars is no longer shackled to EA, and now not only can Ubisoft and Bethesda tackle it, but other studios can tackle it. I mean, okay, I'm gonna ask you guys. Okay, we already talked about the people that are already confirmed to be working on Star Wars games, but what about other studios or developers that could do Star Wars games or would want to do it? So, okay, guys. So, which studios would you like to see working on Star Wars games?
Good question.
Oh, that is tough. Okay. Maybe the devs of Soul Calibur, if they were approached by Lucasfilm Games to do a Star Wars fighting game.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I think the developers of Dishonored could actually do like a stealth-based Star Wars game. That would be intriguing.
Oh sure, nice. Django, you want to know what I would like? Okay, so you guys have you heard of this game called the Callisto Protocol? It was announced in the Game Awards. It's being directed and worked on by the Dead Space developers. Yeah, ex-Dead Space developers. The Left Visceral Games. Once it was out, it was closed down. So think about it, Django. Dead Space, Star Wars. We've had this idea before. You know what I'm getting at. Okay,
Yep.
so I mean, have the Dead Space developers create a Star Wars Death Troopers horror game. Oh
What's
yeah.
That would
what's
be insanity.
a Death Troopers game that ties in with the EU book of the same name?
Doesn't have to be in the EU canon. It can be Disney Star Wars interpretation, but something that literally is a fucking horror game with the dealing with the virus from the Death Troopers and the zombies. Like even if it's their own take, having something like
How
that made by the Dead Space developers would be amazing.
something maybe a new Star Wars RPG game, like something akin gameplay wise to KOTOR. But the trouble is, who would develop that? Because there's no way you could trust BioWare with it. I mean, look at how hard they failed with
Obsidian
Anthem.
Entertainment. Obsidian Entertainment could do it.
Yeah, I guess.
The makers of Knights of the
Um,
Republic 2, as well as the Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas. So that's Obsidian Entertainment for you, Luke.
It's like
Yeah.
it's not like with EA did with. I mean, they didn't even have BioWare do any Star Wars stuff. Nothing.
Which is a shame.
Except
But
the MMORPG, but that's it.
Wait, were BioWare involved in SWTOR?
They made it!
Oh. I genuinely didn't know that, sorry.
So there's that. Okay. We already mentioned the Dead Space developers. Now that they're free from EA, and they could even approach Lucasfilm Games to make the Death Troopers game. So, how about if Activision was very, let's just say they could finally give some of their developers some breathing room from the Call of Duty franchise. How about Raven Software making a new Jedi Knight type game? You know,
I would be down for that. Absolutely.
That would be great, but control scheme wise, it might be a bit of a problem to adapt to a gamepad.
Look, you need to play those console ports of Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy before you say that. So there's that. Okay. There were two developers that approached EA. You know, this was at the time that EA had the exclusivity deal. That approached EA and pitched ideas for Star Wars games. One was a Star Wars Rogue Squadron type game. Of course, got canceled because EA rejected it. And also, the developers of Star Wars Empire at War also approached EA. EA turned it down, of course. So now that the exclusivity is out, imagine those two devs going back and pitching the ideas to Lucasfilm Games. What do you guys think of that?
Could
I
happen.
don't see why not. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I also would love to see that. So
I would like to see Crystal Dynamics do something because they did Tomb Raider, and I know they did Avengers, and that stunk. But I don't think they wanted to do that in the first place. But I feel like if they did something like Tomb Raider in the version of Star Wars, that would be sick.
would be awesome. So there is that. What else? What else could be done? Imagine if they make some sort of game that's set it during the Mandalorian times. You know, in 9 ABY, and it stars in the Jaren or something. Something like Bounty Hunter, but with more refined controls and some levels that aren't frustrating. Like, you know, there are no Tatooine level 2. So they could do something like that. Maybe they could, maybe even a next gen version of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, like one that is like the same. Well, not the same game, but it's like a modern interpretation of it, like of how it would be actually having the full graphics and stuff of the next gen consoles and shit. That would be sick.
There is actually an Unreal Engine fan remaster type thing of Episode 1 Racer.
Ooh, nice. So there's that. But guys, I'll say it right here. What I want now under Lucasfilm Games, freaking give me a re-release of Star Wars Trilogy Arcade on the freaking PS5 or Series X. Okay, that's a bit harder, but on PC, I'd be fine with it. give it to me on PC. That would be amazing. And if not, Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike re-release on the Switch with the entirety of Rogue Squadron 2 campaign, besides being co-op, also single player. I'd love that. And a few other games that could deserve some remakes, like the Dark Forces 2 remake would be awesome. Have Aspia remake it. I don't know, whatever. I'm just throwing ideas randomly. So that's what I want, as well as some new games. So what do you guys want Lucasfilm Games to do? Could be Legends, could be Disney Star Wars. So nothing?
Well, come on, there's got to be something to Django. Have you any ideas?
I would like a re-release of Bounty Hunter, or like because of the success of The Mandalorian, and I mean, it doesn't have to be on the perspective of The Mandalorian, but it could be a completely different Mandalorian character. Do a game on him. I'm not sure who would be fighting, or he'd be on Mandalore or just a bounty hunter. I'm not sure, but that would be really cool to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder, actually, would it be possible for Lucasfilm Games to hire a team to do something in the vein of Force Unleashed?
They could, but obviously it would not be Force Unleashed 3. Damn it.
I know, but I mean from a gameplay standpoint.
Yeah, they could
Like
do
deliberate-
it if they just hire the employees that work on the Force Unleashed. Yeah, they could do it.
And maybe get Hayden Blackman back, because he was the mastermind behind that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that. No Republic Commando 2, unfortunately, because that's like
Well, that's EU, isn't it?
no, it's not just that. The game wasn't really one of the best selling games. It was like actually one of the lowest performing Star Wars games. So
Which is a shame.
there's no
Republic Commando.
reason for it to release.
That really is a shame, because I literally just finished my playthrough of Republic Commando like a night ago. And I actually rather enjoyed that.
It's a good
So
game.
it really is, yeah.
So
Oh, you just played it for the first time.
yeah, so it ain't happening, unfortunately. So at best, at best we'll be getting games like Star Wars Bounty Hunter re-released. It's already on PS4. They might as well just release it on Xbox One and Switch. So other platforms have it, and not just the PS4. And some other games. Battlefronts 1 and 2 originals. Those already have PC versions as well as Xbox OG Xbox versions, backwards compatible. So.
It would have been nice had the Jedi Knight games, specifically Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, been remastered, not just ported over to modern consoles.
At least it's something. So it's more than I can say for games like Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, or the Clone Wars 2002, which have not seen any releases, and it has yet
Actually,
to be made
that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Starfighter was actually made part of a digital release pack.
And backwards compatibility on Series X and Xbox One. Yeah, that too. But the Clone Wars 2002 definitely has not seen a re-release yet, not even backwards compatibility. Damn it. So,
Yeah.
So there's that. Oh, and the Episode 3 video game as well. So
That was a good one.
I would really want to see a remaster of that. I know General disagrees with that. Django, would you want to see a remaster of that?
Not so much a remaster as like just ported on the new
consoles.
Xbox consoles, because basically you have all the original games actually looking with high res and high frame rates, looking way superior than the original games, and really holding up.
even though actually they are the original games, it's just that they're doing some sort of emulator program and starting in the backwards compatibility on Series X, and it just looks and performs way better. I've seen it with my Steel Republic 1. It just looks really good. So there's that. So yeah, but yeah, those are some ideas that we got. So any final things to say, guys, on this whole video?
We're excited for the future of Star Wars games.
Look.
I'm just trying to think. What's the theme? You'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. What's the theme that plays at the end of Revenge of the Sith when Padme dies and Darth Vader is born, so to speak. What's the name of it?
It's Qui-Gon's funeral. The same one
Qui-Gon's funeral.
Yeah.
This news, no Qui-Gon's funeral, just victory celebration and parties in the tree houses on Endor.
Well, some people are gonna say they prefer Yupnov.
No, screw Yubnub.
Sorry, OT fanboys.
Seriously, who prefers Yubnub over victory celebration? But that's a different topic.
That's another one. We'll talk another day, Luke. So, anyway, so there is that. And as for me, well, I'm excited to see what new Star Wars games we'll get. I really want that Star Wars Death Troopers game. I would really die for that, even if I don't play too much horror games. I know the Django's more obsessed with them than me. But that Star Wars Death Troopers game, I definitely would love it. I also want Star Wars Battlefront 3 in some way, but not from EA. No. So bye EA. And I also want some re-releases of all games, like just as Aspyr has been doing with Episode 3 Racer and Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy. So give me that, but give it to me for Bounty Hunter, the Clone Wars 2002, if that's not coming backwards compatible on the Xbox. And please remake Dark Forces 1 and 2, like full-on remakes. Those seriously need remakes, like please. Oh, and the devs that pitched Star Wars game ideas to EA, also give them a shot, please. Also let them actually realize their ideas. So there's that too.
There is actually one thing. I would like to see a Star Wars RPG that has the character interaction and depth and the writing quality of KOTOR, but with a more streamlined combat system rather than the Dragon Age turn-based thing.
Okay, so Obsidian Entertainment, if you're listening right now, get on working on it, or at least pitch the idea to Lucasfilm Games. So yeah, because BioWare, they're gonna get closed down either by this year or next year. I'm calling it. EA is not gonna let them live for too long. So, but yes, so that's all here, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next State of Star Wars video. Bye bye.
See you guys.
May the Force be with you.